Hello, and welcome to the show. Today, we're covering Oppenheimer, a feature from the legendary filmmaker Christopher Nolan. I saw this in IMAX, and it's the best way to watch it if you're going to see it this weekend. If you're watching this, it's probably fair to say that you've seen a massive marketing push bolstered by the curious coincidence of Greta Gerwig's Barbie movie releasing the same day. Unless you've been living under a rock, you may know that the memes and free coverage that the two have received have been generally a friendly competition and the rare justification for audiences to have a double feature this weekend. Alas, we're focusing squarely on Oppenheimer today, the movie that explores the titular physicist's history before, during, and after the Manhattan Project, a $2 billion undertaking during the arms race to create a weapon of mass destruction during World War II. It's a beast of a film, clocking in at 3 hours on the dot and a budget of nearly $200 million. The biggest questions remain. Is Oppenheimer worth the hype it's received over the course of the past year? And ultimately, is it worth seeing? Let's dive in. It's no secret that this film boasts an all-star cast, and Christopher Nolan loves working with a small group of revolving talent. Cillian Murphy leads the movie with a commanding performance, turning in a career best over the likes of Peaky Blinders, 28 Days Later, and even his Batman villain Scarecrow. Murphy shines not only due to the intensity of his charismatic looks, but also through fully losing himself in the role. You're not watching Cillian, you're watching Robert Oppenheimer himself, warts and all. Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, and Florence Pugh round out the supporting roles in excellent ways, but the real surprise here is Robert Downey Jr., who completely separates himself from the pack. Iron Man is gone in the MCU, and Mr. Downey knows it. His captivating performance of the DC elite American magnate Strauss is incredibly nuanced and one that will almost certainly nominate him for an Academy Award. On the other end of the cast, let's just say that there's a few fun surprises that you'll have to see for yourself. Oppenheimer's biggest strength is a thorough examination of such a multi-layered story during a tumultuous time. It poses questions about the moral, political, and philosophical implications of great power and definitely handles the creation of the atomic bomb while tackling themes of war, family, notoriety, and the strain of brilliant relationships to varying levels of success. The first two acts are an excellent setup to a surprising third act that may divide viewers by the time they reach it. And this is where I see the movie kind of separating people. On the one hand, it's a blockbuster that could only be made by a master filmmaker, but viewers would do well to know that they have to shed their expectations from the trailer at the door. Nolan's films are well received for their bold portrayals of abstract subject matter, and Oppenheimer is no different. Despite the fact that we're seeing a real story unfold on screen, I foresee two camps of opinions here. Number one, the film is bloated and uninteresting. Or, number two, the film is an epic retelling of an important story that takes the time needed to make a great movie. The biggest issues I had with Oppenheimer were relatively insignificant but couldn't be overlooked. On the one hand, the audio mixing in Nolan's films continues to be a strange choice, and it's very difficult to hear some of the critical dialogue while the score swells in the background. It's not as bad as Tenet, but it's still frustrating. Additionally, the movie occasionally stumbles on its own ambition. There are a multitude of themes and characters to be explored, and a couple key people feel underdeveloped. Some of the themes that are offered are left more to interpretation, while others are investigated in lesser detail than they could be. I know it sounds crazy to hear that about a 3-hour movie, but this will certainly be a subjective criticism. My biggest appreciation for this movie is that it doesn't care to cater to the average moviegoer. It's a dark, unrelenting story that grips the viewer through intense dialogue and striking, harsh visuals. It goes in depth on quantum physics and asks the audience to think about the themes it asserts. Oppenheimer himself is portrayed as a three-dimensional character, not just a hero or a villain. He's flawed, and so are the people around him in academia. The movie's unafraid to show the audience the ugly aspects of humankind without being gratuitous. The music and sound effects are immense, and the scene everybody wants delivers big time. Above all else, the film challenges us to form our own opinions without guiding us towards a certain viewpoint. And that's why you should watch Oppenheimer. It boasts a phenomenal cast of talent in every single corner. It's the quintessential and most complete on-screen examination of Oppie's history, even if it runs about 20 minutes too long. And although it misses better development of a few of the myriad themes and characters it's presented, it poses fascinating questions about the morality of arms and their intended usages and consequences. It's another win for Nolan. I'm going to go ahead and give Oppenheimer 4 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching, y'all.